Hi everybody, Al Bernstein here for the Boxing Channel with our preview and my keys to victory piece on the Manny Pacquiao-Tim Bradley rematch. It is of course a fight that fans have been waiting to see since Tim Bradley won a highly disputed decision over Manny Pacquiao the last time they were in the ring together, a win which ended a 15-fight win streak for Manny Pacquiao. 30-year-old Tim Bradley is still seeking respect from the boxing world as an upper echelon fighter. In his last match against Juan Manuel Marquez, he got a measure of that respect by winning against Marquez with an excellent performance, but even that was a split decision victory. Now, it's an interesting note that 8 of the last 9 opponents he's faced have been former, current, or future world champions, so he is certainly fighting the best out there. He's an interesting fighter in that he's good at everything, but not great at anything. And so what gives him his wins is his will to win, his terrific conditioning, and the fact that he is solid in most every department. 35-year-old Manny Pacquiao is 1-2 in his last 3 fights after, as I mentioned, that 15-fight win streak was ended by Bradley. Now, of course, one of those 2 losses was the very disputed decision that he lost to Bradley. But nonetheless, he is a fighter who some people think, at age 35, has maybe seen his best days. He was excellent in his last performance against Brandon Rios. But even in winning that fight decisively and looking good doing it, still there were questions because Rios' performance was not really up to par, and some suggested that it was Rios' lack of effort and lack of ability in that fight that gave Pacquiao the dominant win. But clearly Manny Pacquiao showed the kind of life he'll need to show to erase the loss to Tim Bradley. With all that, let's take a look at the keys to victory. For Pacquiao, throwing more combinations is really important. He didn't do that enough in the first fight against Bradley. This time he's got to move his hands better. And he must cut the ring off. Everyone expects Bradley to use more movement in this fight, and he did in the first fight to a great degree. Pacquiao has to cut the ring off so he can walk him down. And I think that Pacquiao has to set down on his power shots. He didn't do that in the first fight. So when he does decide to throw the power shots, he's got to set down those punches and throw them with conviction. As for Bradley, he wants to use angles in this fight, as he did a portion of the first fight, but even more so in this one. The game plan he had against Juan Manuel Marquez may well be used in this fight. The right hand is the one punch that frequently lands against Manny Pacquiao. Bradley doesn't have a lot of power in the right, but he's got a quick right hand, and it would be a good weapon for him. Because the first fight was so controversial, and some people think in the judges' minds they may lean a little toward Pacquiao, I think it's important for Bradley not to have lull periods in the rounds or in the fight where he gives the judges a chance to take rounds away from him and give them to Manny Pacquiao. So the last time these 2 men met, Tim Bradley clearly had some issues with his legs during the fight. He had a couple of injuries that were documented afterwards that happened during the course of this fight. And that impeded him, I think, from setting down on his punches, throwing with power, and some of his movement as well. And yet with all that, he was still able to hang in there for 12 rounds and carve out this very close, though certainly disputed, decision win. As for Manny Pacquiao, many believe he was probably less focused and prepared for that fight than he needed to be. I think both fighters will be better this time around, and I think they will produce a better fight. In fact, I think they're going to produce a terrific fight. It'll be shown on pay-per-view, of course, and we will have full coverage both the week leading up to that fight and, of course, post-fight coverage as well here on the Boxing Channel.